Little bully. Okay, Ken. Good evening, everyone, and a beautiful evening in downtown.
Let me see. I think I have another. I think I have a subsequent countdown. I'm not sure. Somebody is echoing now. I will let you know in a minute if we are live. Are we live? We are live. Okay, we are live. What's up, Wes?
What's going on, brother? I can't hear you, Chris. Shahid, my brother.
What's the deal? How y'all doing?
I'm good. Chris, I couldn't hear you. Your mic went out.
Yeah, I was on my AirPod. Yeah,
Gotcha.
just saying my greetings and salutations. I like Restream better, man. I like Restream way. I don't know why I do. I just like Restream.
What were we on before?
Something else. I don't know, but I like it better. So I got a bone to pick with you, Shahid.
Can you hear me? What's up?
You last week you said it was Cap when I was saying that we get a woman at Spelman.
No, I was talking about the friend thing.
What you mean the friend thing?
I forgot. It just like I forgot what it was.
They're considered a sister. They're not. It's not like you are technically friend zoned. That's what they wanted to be, but it's. I mean, it's clearly more than that. I mean, I know people that met on the first day, and they're Morehouse brothers, Spellman sister, and they married now. So obviously, it's not like a one size fit all. But I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, plenty of Morehouse men that slept with their Spellman sister, the one that they met on, that they're gifted, and plenty of Spellman sisters that slept with their Morehouse brother. You know, either they were gifted or it ain't. It's a smorgasbord over there, my boy. So no real bone to pick. I just wanted to bring it up from last week, especially since this week is Spellhouse homecoming. Spellman Morehouse, let's get it, hosts. So I was actually gonna go party tonight, but I was like, dang, I gotta be on the show tonight. So I'm gonna miss my party. But it's all good. They're gonna be throwing down all weekend, so it's all good. Hey Evelyn, how are you?
Hi.
Welcome
Hello,
back.
Evelyn.
Hey.
Welcome back. We're glad that you joined us again. Give me just a few moments. I'm gonna bring you in a minute. You can just kind of hang out with us. There was anyway, before I do that, welcome everybody to we only have Thursday. I was gonna say Thursday night editions of Ask a Black Man Anything, but we used to have a Tuesday night, but we don't do that no more. So welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything, along with my beautiful co-host, Mr. West. is in the building, uh, and then the tall man on the horse, and then our executive producer down there. He'll be rolling around in the mud sooner or later, and we're gonna for sure get that man a cooked meal. None other than Mr. Shannon Rawls. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. We are glad that you are here. Happy that you can join us again because man, we doing this thing. And so if y'all see me kind of bubbling over with exuberance and excitement, as I said, it's Spell House Homecoming. Spell House, Spell House. You understand?
Right.
So it's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, homecoming on earth. We have been kept down and bogged down by the man for the last 2 years. The vid has kept us in lockdown. So our last two homecomings have been canceled. So shenanigans are going to be at an all-time high. So stay away if you're not family, and if you are, bring yourself.
Hey,
But
Chris.
yes, sir.
Little housekeeping. Just before we get started, I noticed. I'm trying to send it to you now in the group chat. There's a pop up that says we're in subscriber only mode on YouTube. You know anything about what that might mean? It says like only people that can chat or something. You have to be a subscriber or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Is that is that
You
always the
better,
case?
I mean, just subscribe to the channel. It's always been like that. Once we went monetized, we want people to actually subscribe so it
Oh,
can
okay.
actually um keep away from trolls and stuff like that. But I mean, it's nothing just to click a button and hit subscribe. It's
Gotcha.
not
Yeah,
like it's a paid subscription. So,
gotcha.
um,
I'm just making sure. That's all. Continue, brother.
absolutely. Absolutely. But I did want to bring this up. So, a couple, what is this, September 20th? Oh, that August. No, October. A month ago, a guy commented on one of our threads. I'm not sure if it was on Facebook or where, but it looks like he commented. He wanted to ask this question. And Shan actually asked me to bring it back up because we typically try to answer all questions that are either emailed to us or brought to us live. And we want you all to email us. It's questions at aabma.live. If you see right above Wes's head, there's the thing that you can email us. But we actually also prefer for you to come and join us because just like Evelyn is here with her question locked and loaded, we're going to get to her in just a second. And again, welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything. We know you're not perfect, but we're not going to tell nobody. What you trying to show us here, ma'am?
You said I'm not perfect, but I said I'm original.
I don't think that's what you're trying to show us. This ain't TikTok. At any rate, I definitely want to take a moment to address Ken Vonberg's question. Again, we apologize that we didn't get to it the following week, Ken, but here it is. We're going to actually address it today. So Ken says on our one of our YouTube comments, my question sincerely, and for those who won't be able to tell, or can tell, Ken is obviously a Caucasian male. Sincerely, is why do black men and women use the word nigga? And he didn't type the word nigga or niggr, just for the record. He put a one in place of the I and a four in place of the A, and he put it in quotations. So why do black men and women use the word nigga so often? It's especially prominent in casual conversations that are informal or all the time in music. I don't need to be educated. He goes on to say, I don't need to be educated on why the word has been reclaimed from having a negative meaning, because if you're still using a word that perpetuates the embodiment of an originally racist term, it makes him appear very uneducated and self-destructive. Um, My response to that, Ken, first, and I'll let the other guys chime in, is the original word was nigger, and that was the derogatory term, nigger. Um,
Hold on.
nigga is slang, and although it's still in the same family of words, there's a different meaning in a different context. A lot of African Americans, black men and women, and I won't talk about the music piece because I'm not in the music industry, but I'll say I use the word because uh, it's another word for brother, family member, somebody that I associate, closely with.
And
Um, and
I'm on a
to me,
podcast.
it's a term of endearment,
So
Evelyn.
I'll call you when I get off, girl.
You're not muted, Evelyn. You hear me, Evelyn?
You can just mute your mic, Evelyn. Evelyn, you're good.
Hello?
We heard your whole conversation.
I thought I
This-
put on mute.
Mm-mm. It's okay. I will say that I know, and this is how I'll segue it. I will say that I know that some people don't like to use the word, and I understand that. And so, with that being said, when I actually toss it to my brother Shahid, because he's one of the people that I know that doesn't like to use it. So,
Um, I use the word. It's in certain spaces. You know what I mean. I try my best not to. But my most restrictive. I don't allow black women to call me that because for one, it hurts both of us. My mother has never called me that. I've never heard my mother use the term um, to any black man. Period. Especially my brothers, my father. Um, but the reason because when I'm in the space of a black woman, I'm not behave. To me, a nigga's not a person; it's a behavior. So whenever I'm in the space of a black woman, I'm not ever behaving like a nigga. Um, when I'm with my niggas, my boys, my homies, whatever that sometimes I do, I am. Um, but I can become a nigga. So it's that for me, it's just like, hey, I don't want to have to behave in that manner because it's here, it's in me. You know what I mean? But why do we use it? I think that's just one of those things. It's our word. Like we took the offensive nigger with the hard er, and we made it our word. Some people say it's a term of endearment. I don't necessarily go that far, but it is something that I'm conscious about. Um, Trying not to use to other black men. Um, and I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? Because I know when I'm being a nigga, you're gonna know about it. So, but I definitely think it's something that we should be more mindful of. You know, I'm not big on like never using it at all. It's just a matter of it's context, where you are, who you with, and things like that.
Yeah, if I could jump in on it super quick, Chris. Yeah, for lots of people, it means lots of different things. People use it in different ways within Black culture, and I respect uh, everyone and what it means to them, and whether or not they decide to use it or not. Um, but that's something that we internally. Those are discussions that we have internally. Externally, I don't think any of us, if not most of us, in Black culture, we don't accept the use of it because of the origination of it. What I thought was beautiful is um, some long time ago, when we first got started, I used the word with Shahid. I said something to and affectionately I said something to the effect of my nigga, something like that in our communication or whatever. And what's beautiful is, and this is the thing, while people hear us say it on the outside, you don't know the discussions that we have on the inside, and how we feel about it. And you'll have someone like Shahid who checked me on the use of it as it relates to him, which I appreciate. He didn't just take it and let it fly by. He let me know how he felt about being addressed that way, even though he knew where I was coming from. And so those are the things, that the conversations and the communication that we have internally, So it doesn't really matter what you might see externally. Internally within the Black community, I think we all have a healthy respect for one another when we use it and when we don't use it, and we're not afraid to communicate with each other when we're not comfortable with that word in certain contexts. So so yeah, so I say all of that to say it's family business. And to the question, you know, the answer was in his own question when he said he didn't, understands how we took the negative term and whatever. Well, that's the answer. The rest of it is judgment within that particular question from his standpoint. But at the end of the day, I just think it's family business, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that um, what happens is that some people, well, let's just put it this way. Um, the word was associated with black people from white people, and that's just the honest to God truth. And I think trying to figure out the why a person does something, like Jim Rome used to say, don't ask why. It's because why people left, why people come, why people go, why people quit. Don't ask why. The trash is piled up, they left the screen door open, they ran out of peanut butter. There are a million reasons as to why people will make an excuse or a reason as to why they do a particular thing. It has been repurposed, and for the greater portion of, I guess, 400 plus years now, black people have had to repurpose themselves. I would beg of you or ask of you, Ken, should you happen to be watching tonight or any other night, you know, what is the great concern in the white community about what we do in our community? Ask yourself that. Like, why are
Wait,
you so heavily
hold on.
concerned?
He's white.
Yeah, yeah. What? Why is it that you're concerned? Why is that your concern? Because here's the thing: on the list of things of concerns, that should be at the bottom, right? Ask yourself as a white male, and I because I now, one thing that people say about our show that sometimes we don't ask questions, we try to turn it around and deflect. So I answered it first, right? That's the first thing I want to do. Now, here's the thing I want to do on the other thing as a thought piece for you is to ask yourself, Ken, or any other white person that's watching the show, why are some white people so afraid of black people? And particularly black people coming into power, as if the entire nation of black people were to, or the entire body of black people were to become in power, that we would turn all white people into slaves. Why is that a thought that some white people believe? Ask yourself that question. Because we as a whole, the black community, are way more powerful than almost anybody if we actually stick together. But ask yourself, why is there a healthy dose of fear in the Caucasian community of black people asserting themselves and putting themselves in power? Ask yourself this question as well, because how did you phrase it? A sincere request. That is my sincere and honest question. Why is it that when not, and I don't see it as much anymore, but why is it that some white people cross the street when they see a black person coming? Why is it that white people think that all black people steal? Or ask yourself, here's another question. Why is it that white people can't create their own culture and they have to mimic and copy everything that black people do? Because here's the thing. You white people take and they do our dances, right? That we create. They do our songs, and people praise and laud a white person for being able to know all of Tupac's lyrics or Biggie's lyrics or Jay-Z or Beyonce, and they sing it word for word with passion. Why is that? Why not just go sing Taylor Swift with conviction, right? Like, like I said to my ex-wife when I wanted to divorce, you go that way and I go this way, and we just, we can coexist, but just let that be. Like, you do your white stuff over here, we do our black stuff over here, and just let us just live in harmony. I'm almost positive, and I don't speak for all black people, Ken, and to the rest of the white community. I don't speak for all black people, but I will venture to say we want to live in harmony and not have to be prejudiced or judged about why we use or do a particular thing. I could ask you, why do you pick the women that you pick? There are 1,000 things that I could ask that just don't need to be asked. Like, just let that thing happen, because you're not going to get an answer from one guy or seven guys or a million people, because all of our answers are going to be different. It is something that we have housed in our community, similar to like historically black colleges, something that is for black people in our community, like our clothing, like our vernacular, like our swag, like our dances, like our music. Those things are in our, not saying that you can't partake in them, not saying that you can't enjoy them. Please, by all means, buy buy all the lyrics, right? But don't be afraid of us owning the companies, right? Don't be afraid of us owning the masters and taking strides to be in a better place than we were 100, 200, 3, 5 years, 100 years ago. That's my take. But if you could, Ken, if you're listening or watching at another time, spread the word to, your community. Just let us have it, right? Don't use it. When you know the word is coming in a lyric, stop singing. And don't take it as a liberty just because you have a black friend or a few black friends that you can become comfortable with using it because you're not part of that culture.
Yeah, let me.
Hope that helps.
So I answered that question under the premise that this was a black man answering the question. I don't know how I missed this was a white guy, but
Oh,
so when I hear like, kind of just to reiterate Chris's point, I just don't even see why that's a concern unless you want to use the word yourself, unless you feel like you're missing out on something. Like, well, they say it, why can't I say it? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm the type, hey, by all means, hey, if you got a favorite rap song that says it in the privacy of your own home, let it rip. I don't, that's what you do, because I know they do it anyway. You know what I mean? They do it
you gotta
anyway.
say that. You gotta say that part again. And where?
But
In the,
in the privacy of their own home, like,
Big
let it
facts.
fly. But I mean, don't be surprised if you listen to that same rap song out in public and it slip out and you get punched in your mouth. Like that, those are the consequences that come with that word. But at the same time, um, my issue when it comes to the use of the word outside of our community is it's more so like they have they may have certain black friends that allow that. You know what I mean? Like what I've seen is when I see people comfortably using the word, whether it be white, Latino, Asian, whatever, they have a certain group of black individuals that they are around that allow them to use the word. So, but yeah, I mean, this I don't even see what would, like. There are certain things that go on that take place within the white community that I couldn't even fathom the question because it's not my business. I don't care about it, and what you do is what you do. So this question, for a white man to ask this question, drives home a deeper question for me. Like, why do you care? Like, if you, you know what I mean? Like, um, yeah, I just that's interesting to get this uh, this from a white male. I don't understand it. That's all I got.
Uh, Evelyn, let me ask you a quick question. I want to bring you in real quick because this will allow me to segue you to your question. Um, I know that you don't probably call your girlfriends your niggas, right?
No,
Um, but do you use the term at all?
I have.
Okay. So let me ask you this question, and because it's the same. Why do you think that some it's used so prevalently in the black community? Because you're the lady on the show, so that's my question.
Because we, as a culture, period, I feel like we grew up around listening to it, listening to the word because it's always present. Because personally, I don't say nigga, I always say Negro versus saying nigga. But a lot of people I know, I be around, they say it. But I personally don't like using it. And I feel like it's just you hear it all the time. It's like natural, pretty much. It shouldn't be like that, but it's just natural. And I actually work with this girl. She's actually from the DR, and I heard her say it one day, and I was like, "Why are you saying this?" I'm like, "Girl, we from New York. We say it all the time. I don't understand what it's the big deal." And I was like, "Okay." I was just shocked to hear her say that. She say it all the time outside her house. She said it all the time with her friends, and she's from the DR.
So you don't use it; you use something different.
Hmm.
Is there a particular reason why you use something different? Do you just think it's a little more derogatory, or
Yeah, I just don't like using the word. I think it's just so hateful. Like nigga this and nigga that. I don't too much like it.
See, for me, I don't think it's so much hateful, but
Hmm.
I pay attention to the space. Like when I use it, I pay attention to the spaces I'm in. Like
Yes. Hmm.
when I use it, I'm typically around some nigga shit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like I'm around the killers and the drug dealers, and that's the space I'm in. So the reason I'm mindful of where else I use it, like around children and around like I don't use it around my elders.
Hmm.
That's one thing. Like me being a cowboy, I'm around some rough, hardcore, older black men that have been around a lot, and that's one word I've heard everything under the sun. But nigga is just something that just is not used in our spaces. Even here amongst ourselves, like yeah, it gets thrown around here and there, but for the most part, we don't use it. So the reason I'm mindful of that is because I don't know who's around me. I don't know who else is hearing me because I don't want them to think that type of element is around them. You get what I'm saying? So, uh,
Hmm.
but that's again, this is a conversation amongst ourselves, amongst our people. We could talk about it night and day. I'm still of the belief like when it comes to others, like I just don't think it's their like it's like mind your business. You know what I mean?
But when that guy asked, that question, because 9 out of 10, I'm pretty sure he said it, and he's
Right.
looking at like, why
Right.
are we saying it? Why we say it all the time? Why
He
we can't say it?
wants to say it outwardly and comfortably though.
Yes. Hmm. Like, okay, they say it. Why we can't say it? So that's been the big issue all along for a long time.
why do you think that's been an issue?
Because in the black community we say it all the time, and they feel like, okay, well, why are they saying it? We can say it.
So what? So
Shouldn't be a
like, what's
problem.
good for the goose is good for the gander.
It shouldn't be a problem. What's the problem when they say it? I'm just saying.
There, there are so many problems
Hmm.
with. So it's like it's almost like y'all created the nonsense.
Hmm.
We remixed it, and now you want to take it back because we made it better. Like, make that make sense. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, thing
So
is,
okay.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
So basically, you saying since they gave us the word, we should be able to use it. That's what you're saying.
Well, I do think that and welcome, Crystal. We'll get to you in just a second. Um, thank you for having your camera on. I'm going to introduce you to our panelists. These gentlemen to my sorry, I always get it the wrong way. To my this way. I can't tell if that's your left or your right, but whichever way that way is. We got a couple more guys that'll be joining us here in a moment. Our show is Ask a Black Man Anything. So we appreciate you joining on, and literally you can ask any question that you want to ask. You'll get some honest answers from Honest Abe right here next to me, and then the cowboy, and it is Spellhouse Homecoming. So, who's anyways, yeah, I find it so interesting that people you want it's like you want to take it back, like if you want to take something back, you gave us nigger, we turned it into nigga, and we love the word. That's my nigga. That's my boy. Them my people. We love it. Like we made it. It's like it's
Enduring.
like when y'all made like chicken and we made fried chicken. Y'all want to take the fried chicken away? Like, come on, man. Like, come on. We own it now. Like it's now y'all got this kernel that makes fried chicken. Nah,
Like tea,
pause.
like sweet tea.
Yeah, I mean, but we're not gonna get into it all. Anyways, let me
Mhm.
jump right into it, because that's just something that's just so nuanced, man. I think that, um, you know, black people have taken ownership of the things that we can take ownership of, and one of them, I'm gonna say this: I really don't think black people want slaves. So I hope to all the white people in the land, y'all realize we don't want to put y'all in slavery. Y'all can just leave us alone. Like as far as that's concerned, but for the most part, we chilling. We just want to, get our money, go to work, raise our families, and be in peace. Right? That's where we are. Anyways, Evelyn, good evening, and welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything. I'm gonna jump right into it. The other fellows will be joining us pretty soon. So, what question do you have for us tonight? I know. Welcome back. You were here last week. Have you done anything different? Are you combative this week?
Stop saying that.
No,
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 listen, for real.
no.
So
Like you either are agreeable or you're combative. It's one or the other.
no, I'm agreeable to some of the things you're saying. I am.
Okay, we'll see
But
this week.
however, okay. Okay, the question I have for this week is when you're going on a first date, who should cover the tab?
Go,
And
Oh,
Wes.
huh?
Go
This
ahead,
keep going.
Wes.
Keep going.
You go first,
No,
Wes.
no, sound like you had a second part to that. Did you, Evelyn?
I do have a second part. So when y'all ask me who I think should pay, then I
We didn't
have a
ask that.
scenario.
We
I
didn't.
know. I
We
know
didn't
you're
ask that.
going to.
See, agreeable.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So is that okay? So I think I'm gonna default to whoever asks the person to the date should be prepared. Whoever asks a person out, just in life in general, whatever it might be, girlfriend, boyfriend, you and your homeboys, whatever your homegirls, whatever. If you're asking them out, the assumption should be that unless otherwise identified, unless you have the conversation, that the person asking someone out is the person treating them. Now, specifically, I do think today, because that question comes up so much and people have different expectations. Some people expect to go Dutch. Some people expect for the guy to pay. I think it's at least worth now that we're in 2022 to have that as part of the conversation. if you're a guy and you're asking a woman to go out, let her know that it's on you, that you're treating. Because what I will tell you, the part that never gets talked about is some women actually have an aversion to on the first date you taking care of the bill, because some guys in certain situations feel a sense of entitlement to whatever it might be because they took that woman out. And so some women are at the place where they don't want someone to have any expectations of the date or of them, or to feel as though they're indebted to them beyond that first date. So they're happy to go Dutch, and they're almost sometimes offended by the expectation that you as a man would have to that you're paying for them. We don't have to get into the psychology of why that is, but it's not just women who it's not just their fault for thinking that. Lots of men have, you know, put stipulations on women, or been entitled or felt entitled to cause some women to feel that way. That being said, as a gentleman, I think that the man who is traditionally the one asking a woman on a date is the one who should therefore expect to pay the for the date, unless otherwise identified. That's it.
Your thoughts, Shaheed?
I completely missed the question. I was on a phone call. What's the question?
Who should pay
He's on a
for
phone
the
call
first
setting
date?
up a date.
Who should pay for the first date?
He up there swiping.
Um, who should pay for the first date? I mean, for me personally, I'm going to pay because typically I'm the one initiating the date. But I think women need to be a bit cognizant of the fact, like, if you initiate an interaction with a man, um, for example, if you say something along the lines of like, "Oh, we should go out" or something like that, at least for minimum, you should be willing to pay your own way. But me personally, I have my reasons for paying for majority of the dates up until I'm extremely comfortable with that woman, because what I'm paying for is the freedom to walk away from you at any moment that I want to, if I need to. For example, um, when you get to having her pay for things, and you know that it's blurred, you get into the she can hold something over your head. I don't like people being able to hold anything over my head, thinking that they've done anything for me, until we're in a space where I can call on you if I need you. Type, like, if I won't call on you if I needed you for something, I will pay for that date up until then. But I think, in like Wes said, in 2022, I think that I think women should be a little more open to the idea. If you know, I don't believe in traditionalism, like only being traditional when it benefits you. I think if you're gonna be traditional, be all the way traditional. If not, don't be, and create your own rules. But
Right.
that's my take on it.
Okay. So there are a few caveats for me. Wes mentioned one of them. Who asked? One of the other one is where you going. Um, you know, who initiated it is one of them. Who agreed? Right? Like, oh, I don't want to go here. Let's go here. Right? Though that's something else. I'm gonna tell you what I do, um, and then I'm gonna tell you what should actually happen in the dating environment. Um, I pay for all first dates because I will also initiate the action of I want to see you. I pay for first dates because first dates are the in this virtual dating space, online dating space that we're in. I will have talked to you for several days beforehand, and now I'm kind of, in a way, I'm saying I want to actually meet you, but I want to meet you in a setting where you don't have to worry about anything because this is part of my character. Part of my character is provision. So you'll see that immediately. Now, if you've talked to you for several days, so it's kind of like a prelude to what you're getting from me in a relationship, right? So I'll pay. What should happen for everybody else who's not me and who doesn't perform the way I perform or act the way I act or believe the way I believe that women should pay for their own meals and their own dates, and men should pay for themselves. And that way, there's no pressure for people to enjoy themselves. Because here's the thing: some women look at men and they say, "Oh, he need to pay for the first date," and they have an attitude when you know that he doesn't take them to a 3, 4, 5 star restaurant, right? Let's say he wants to go to Olive Garden or Red Lobster or Ruby Tuesdays for the first date, or tacos for the first date, right? And I believe that all first dates should possibly include tacos. I definitely believe that, right? I think first dates on Tuesday are the greatest dates that you could ever have because you're gonna spend less than $40, you're gonna eat good, and you're gonna drink good, and that should just make sense to me. But I think that if a woman is paying for herself, then there, like Wes said, there's no expectation of, oh, I owe him something. Oh, now I got to give it up. I feel obligated to give it up because he paid for the date. Yes, some men have that, but here's the thing. And men would not have this thought process that a woman should give something up if women were not doing this on the first date. And does that make sense? So if they weren't giving it up on the first date because he paid for something, then we wouldn't be thinking like that. And we wouldn't be saying things like that. Well, I paid for this date. Now you gotta, blah. Right. But if you pay for yourself, now you can just go out and enjoy. But here's the other part of it. Some women can't actually, and I don't know all, but some women can't actually afford the dates that they want to be taken on. And so that's why they want the men to pay. It has nothing to do with being a traditional man. It has to do partially with, oh, I can't take myself here, so he should do it. We've all seen the memes and the reels and the Facebook posts. A man should pay for this. And if I'm getting my hair done, he should do this. He should do that. Who's that feedback? Is that you, Wes?
No, it's not me.
Okay, it's fine. A man should do this and a man should do that. If he don't block him, if he don't pay for your nails, and you mention you pay for yourself, because before he came along, if he didn't come along that weekend and you wanted to get your nails done, you would still have to pay for it. So learn to be self-sufficient, but then when a quality male comes along, learn to be co or interdependent, right? Where you guys can both depend upon each other, right? So are you having issues in that area, Evelyn? Is there more context?
It's more context.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay, so I was asked on a date, and we was talking maybe 2 weeks prior to going on the first date, and he asked me, I want to take you out, and I said, okay. Sorry, I thought I had.
He watching the show. Don't be talking about me.
No, it's my daughter. She in drill. Sorry. Okay, so he asked me to go on a date. He asked me to pick the restaurant. I said, okay, this is like Saturday or so. I said, okay, so I chose a restaurant. I thought it was pretty reasonable because I go there all the time. So we ordered. He asked me, what's the best thing on the menu? And I told him, and I got what I normally get, and because I'm not a drinker, so I ordered some water. And the bill came up to maybe like $60, if I'm not mistaken. And he had gone to the bathroom. I left him, gone to the bathroom, came back. He had gone to the bathroom. I was like, what's taking him so long? I thought, okay, he's gonna ghost me. But I know he couldn't left because we rode together. So when he came back, we sat for a minute. And then he looked up and said, the bill came, the waiter, she came back. He said, so you gonna pay or I'm gonna pay? I said, okay. I just never experienced that. So I was like, okay. And the first thing that came out of my mouth said, oh, I got the tip. I was like, oh my God. I just never experienced that. For him to say that, I said, if that, I'm thinking in my mind, if that's the case, we should have just said, okay, I could have ordered what I really wanted to order and pay for myself. So I was like, oh my goodness. So I was like, I don't know. I mean, we could have went and Dutch. I didn't mind paying for my own food. I don't mind doing that. If that's the case, I just would have ordered me something different.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I was like, oh, was I wrong for saying, okay, I got the tip? I mean, I don't know.
No, you're not wrong. But here's the thing, right? You presuppose that he was in the same bracket that you were in. You said, I go here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this. Let me take a step
Because he
back.
wanted to try something different now. He
Hold
wanted
on,
to try
That's
Chris.
fine.
I can't let you get that off, Chris.
No. Listen. He invited her. He's supposed to
And
pay.
he
That's
could
why.
have looked on the website and looked at the menu and say, okay, well, dang.
But some men not gonna do that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Some men are not gonna do that.
But you shouldn't. You should never allow a woman to pick the restaurant. Then.
But see, and that's exactly where I was going.
I could have chose Ruth Chris or something. I just picked Sage.
No, Evelyn, you're not wrong
Mm-hmm.
for picking the restaurant that you wanted to go to. That's not what I'm saying. Because if I ask you where do you want to go,
Mm-hmm.
then and you tell me, then it's my responsibility to be able to cover whatever it is in that moment, whether it's $25 or $250
Mm-hmm.
or however much it is. It's my responsibility to cover it. It's also, that's why I said, this is what I do. What
Mm-hmm.
you should do, if you not me, do something different.
Okay.
That's why I said tacos are a great first date. Here's the thing, and you're not wrong for picking the restaurant that you go to. That's someone that you like. It's perfectly fine. Where I think it could have been, let me expand your thought a little bit.
Okay.
I say, hey, Evelyn, I'd love to take you out. What restaurant would you like to go to? Here's a expanded version.
Evelyn, did he say that or did he say you pick the restaurant?
Yeah, well, he said, what restaurant?
Okay.
He said, I want to take you out. Pick a restaurant that you like. And
he told her
he never been there. And I said, okay.
Right. So here's what I'm saying. Let me expand it a little bit because I think it's helpful because some men just don't know. They don't know. They don't operate the way that Shahid, Wes, Chris, Rob, and the other fellas on our panel operate, right? We're different, right? You tell me you want to go to Roof Chris. Okay, if that's within my budget, okay, we'll go to that, right? If it's not, I'll say, hey, we're not going there, right? There's no shame in that, right? What you can say, hey, I love these 3 restaurants. I'm gonna let you pick after you look at the menu, right? Because now you're not checking his pockets, and I'm not saying that you're calling him broke, but it's a way. Some men just need help. That's just the honest to God truth.
Well, you shouldn't ask a female on a date. You shouldn't give a suggestion and say, where you want to go, and then when you get to the table, and I don't even drink, and you ordered about 3 drinks or whatever.
Evelyn,
so I'm just
what
saying.
do you mean he shouldn't ask you on a date and then not say where you ask you?
Yeah, if you want to take okay. How can I say this without saying
if he wants to take you out, he should lead. That's what you want to say?
No. I'm not saying that. Just say, hey, well, what type of restaurant is it? Or in some guys, they do look at the menu. Okay, what kind of restaurant is it?
Evelyn, didn't I just say earlier combative?
That's not being combative. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, you making a lot of excuses.
Listen. Let me help you have a guided experience.
But Chris, hold on, time out.
I'm not making an excuse.
This is I'm about survival of the fittest. If I'm Evelyn, he gets crossed off the list because
Fair.
some men. This is where, because there's a man out there that's going to have that same type of interaction with Evelyn, and he's going to pay for everything because he asked her out. He told her to choose the restaurant, and that's that. He ain't doing no stuff where he's sliding off to the bathroom so she could pay.
Right.
Like, he don't need to be. There are no excuses that need to be made for this man. There's no situation that will.
I'm not making excuses.
It sounds like you get let.
No. It's not an excuse. What I'm saying is, here's an expanded way of asking the same or answering that same question, right? Expanded means she could answer it and the way that she answered it, or she could just, if she's interested or wants to go out or whatever the case is, help him a little bit, right? Just be helpful.
I'm going to help. Okay, listen.
I'm telling you how you can help him.
Listen. Okay,
here's Evelyn. Let me answer you.
This is where you're making excuses for him. You are trying to help this man.
What's wrong with helping our brothers?
Listen.
No.
Evelyn.
He asked me when he first. He said, "Okay, come
Evelyn.
I'm trying to explain to you."
Rob, your mic's echoing, Rob. I think.
Oh my goodness! After those 2 weeks, then he asked me. He said, "Would meet me somewhere, pick me up." I said, "Okay, I ain't think nothing of it. Okay, I'll pick you up."
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait a minute, Elvin. Did you just say after y'all went on the first date, he said, "Meet me somewhere and pick me up"?
No. Before, because he said his headlight went out or something. He don't want to drive at nighttime. And I said, "Okay, I'll do." I didn't, I ain't think nothing of it. And I was like, "Okay." And this shouldn't be.
Evelyn, my head's starting to hurt now. I was
starting to hurt because I'm telling you. I mean that
my ass itch. Evelyn. Okay.
It don't make sense because first of all,
Evelyn,
I'm telling you. Oh my goodness.
I'm in agreement now. I thought that you ain't tell me. See, you holding back on the context, right?
That's
so that's different.
It ain't holding nothing back.
It's not holding back.
No. It is in a sense. Listen, if you would have told me, so what I try to do is I believe that some men need to have their standards raised by other men. They need to be told what to do, because if somebody doesn't tell them, then they'll keep going around doing the same stupid things that they've been doing.
But Chris,
right?
there's no other man in this equation though. It's him and Evelyn.
I'm not saying that there's another man in the equation, but what I'm saying is in this scenario, let's say this goes viral and men see it, right? Right? And they do the same stupid thing. Somebody got to offer a suggestion to help them. And so this is my suggestion to help to get you from where you are at level 1 dating to level 5 dating, right? The thing should be, bro, if you're going to ask her out, pay for it. Yes, that's level 10. But I can't get you to level 10 unless I get you to 2, 3, and 4.
But who are you trying to get to level to these other levels? Right. If you're trying to get the man, or you're trying to get Evelyn? I see it very clearly.
The man.
So
the man.
Right. So
the man's not here. So what I'm saying is I can also help her. So, this could kind of be.
Evelyn doesn't need help. Chris,
Evelyn
I'm
good.
Listen, let me make my point. Let me just say that, right?
Okay. And
here's my point. Okay. If you wanted to go out on a date with him, here's how you could help him. Okay. Hey, these are 3 places that I like. Check out the menu. Pick one. Whichever one works best for you, that's where we'll go. That's one way. Or you could do it the other way. Here's what I like. Check out the menu. This is where I want to go. Either way, you don't go wrong. And he has to step up, right? And if he doesn't, then you're caught in that situation that you're in. But I'm going to say this before I say anything else. Part of it has to do a little bit with your vetting process, which is where I wanted to also go. Okay. I have a book, and I can help you with your vetting process.
Okay. Let me say this really quick before you go, Evelyn.
Okay.
There's only one way that Evelyn can help him. By letting him go. By getting through the date and dropping him. so that he can learn that lesson.
But before that, Wes.
There's no before that.
No
There's-
before that, Chris.
right.
So you telling me that if she met you on a dating site and this guy was you, she couldn't say that to you?
She
Say
could,
what?
but she shouldn't have to. It's not her obligation. Matter of fact, and if she does say it to me,
We're not
that
talking
doesn't-
about what she has to do.
I know. So if she does say it to me, that doesn't help me as much as letting me all the way bump. Here's the thing I do say is this is the advice I would give to Evelyn or any woman in this scenario is, first of all, again, 2022, we should all be have the conversation from the start when someone invites you on a date, maybe. But the other thing I would say to any woman under any circumstance is, if you go, whether you're asked to go to a restaurant, to a specific, asked to choose the restaurant, or you're invited to a restaurant, check it out. Make sure that whatever you order, you can cover it on your own, because you don't know what's going to happen in the date. You don't know if he's going to wild out, if he's going to sneak off, if he's going to upset you, or if he's going to feel as though he's you're obligated to something, or that he's entitled to something after that. So what I would say is, in accepting the date, make sure that you're aware of where you're going, and that whatever you order, you can pay for it yourself if you need to walk away from the date. And that would be, and I think that is the best way that a woman should proceed in that scenario. And then the rest of it is on him, whether he rises to the occasion or not. Be prepared to walk away, and that's that. Go ahead, Evelyn. I'm sorry.
I don't think that was directed towards Evelyn, but yeah, I believe that it's not even what I believe. We know this to be true. The way men improve is not by in the context of women. It's not by other men. It's by women. We all became the men who we are by having to correct ourselves by something we did to a woman or did not do for a woman. We lost that girl. We corrected based on what we see in women, what we want in a woman, and things like that. It wasn't because of men telling us, yes, certain things men do sharpen us with and give us game on certain things. But this particular man in this situation, Evelyn, he'll take this current situation and not take it into his next situation.
He's not gonna learn nothing.
Chris, it's not everybody doesn't learn. There have to be losers. There are winners and losers in life. Everybody does not learn it, and that's why when he picks up the phone and call Evelyn, it doesn't ring.
Right.
That's what he learned.
So here's my question. Yeah. How does he get the education? Because her leaving teaches him nothing.
Gives a shit.
Like Chris, he'll learn. He'll realize, like, it's up to him to put his fucking thinking cap on and say, damn, Evelyn ain't returning my calls. She's not texting me back. She don't want to go on another date with me. That's
Chris. Okay.
Because that ain't gonna teach him nothing.
Listen,
why do you? How old is this man, Evelyn?
Let me see. I think he's 40.
40 years old. I'm not trying to teach a 40-year-old man nothing.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Yes. Let me say this, Shahid. That's fine. I'm just in a different space. I'm okay with helping. I'm not gonna hold your hand. I'm gonna give you some tips.
You are, Chris. You sound like you holding this man's hand.
I mean, but guess what? You can be completely different, and I could be okay with that. Like, this is something that I believe. I believe men by and large need to become better men.
But you want her to help.
You're not helping him become a better
I definitely
man.
am. And it's okay if you disagree.
No, you're a cop. This sounds like a man that is this is why he does this. He got to 40 years old by this approach. This is how he got
because he
holding his hand.
No, he got to this age because he never learned anything.
Let me ask you this, Chris. How does a kid learn not to touch a hot stove? Do they learn it because you told them and someone told them that it was hot and all of the dangers of it, or did you have to literally burn your hand or put your hand on the fire on the stove to understand that the stove is hot? If that's
both
the case,
ways. I'm not gonna be stupid and say it's only one way to learn.
Well, no, most of us
So you
but
mean to
most
tell me, Wes, that there's stuff that your mom or your parents have taught you that you didn't just listen to because they said that? Like that's ridiculous to believe.
most human beings learn that way. But
Well,
here's
one,
we
we're
have to
not gonna
learn it
go
the
with
hard
most
way.
people because you don't know most people,
But
so we're not
That's
gonna
but
go there.
well,
crazy.
either
But
way, the point of the
you can
matter
learn
is
both ways. I
you
believe that.
can. But here's the thing. Well, here's the one sure way. If you can't learn by touching the stove and it's hot, you don't have to guess. Then you'll never learn. And so, touching the stove and it being hot is the equivalent of Evelyn walking away from that situation and
Exactly.
not helping him through it.
And guess what? I'm still okay with y'all disagreeing because you don't have to agree. I'm totally okay with that, but I'm gonna stand on that. It is an alternative. She
No,
doesn't
I
have
mean
to
that's
do it.
fair, Chris. It is
That's
an
not
alternative.
alternative. He just
No, it's fair. Like you listening to a woman. A woman is literally two women are agreeing with the same thing that me and Wes are saying. And the alternative that you're presenting is why men are 40 years old doing the things that they do.
I totally disagree.
All
I
right.
totally disagree.
you because
Crystal, what are your
he's
thoughts
doing it
after
forever.
Evelyn?
He had to be doing, sir. What's that?
No, I was saying after you speak, I love to hear Crystal and her thoughts. I know she's been dying to chime in.
Okay, so listen. Okay, after the date, he called me maybe a couple days later. I answered the phone and I talked to him, and he was like, "Is something bothering you?" And I basically told him, I said, "Well, to be honest with you, we had gone on a date, and you asked me to come out, pick a restaurant. And I told you, I said, well, I'm not accustomed to that, and I wasn't raised like that, and I'm not used to that. For you to ask me, and then you go to the bathroom and was gone for a significant amount of time, and then you came back and asked me, okay, are you going to pay for this meal? I'm going to pay for it this time." And I wasn't used to that. He said, "Well, we can go Dutch. I'm not going to pay for everything all the time." So I'm not asking you that, because I was always taught by my dad, you always bring something, like you said, you're going to have money. You never know what could happen. Always have something that you can afford, because you never know. And I said, okay. And then he just went on and on and on. And I said, I don't think this is going to work out. It was just certain things he was saying too as well. And it's like you try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I said, maybe you don't know, but you 40 years old, you should know. I shouldn't have to teach you nothing. You're 40 years old. My own son know what to do. So it just feel like, and he's in his 20s. And that's crazy. I just think that's just so bizarre. There's no excuse for him. He's 40 years old. He should know this. You're
But
the
he
baby
doesn't.
girl.
But he
Should know.
doesn't. He
And
doesn't.
then on top of this, and I know you probably feel like this don't have nothing to do with nothing. When I picked him up, I knew what type of car he drove, right? But I don't give a darn. I don't care about stuff like that. But it was the type of car he drove, just like, really? Seriously? I mean, I know you don't support, I'm not basing it on that. I'm just letting you know, because
Right.
I picked him up because, like I said,
Right.
he said his tail light, his front light was out the driver's side, because he drives a Maserati. And I said, okay, I ain't seen nothing, don't think none of it. I mean, because like I said, it doesn't bother me. But when it just ticked me off when you went to the bathroom. It seemed
Right.
like you was expecting me to pay for it. You really what? You really thought I was going to pay for it. I just felt like you really thought I was going to pay for it. I really
We're gonna
did.
change the shirt. Your shirt says, "I'm not perfect, but I'm original." We're gonna change that to your next T-shirt is gonna say, "I'm not perfect, but I'm not stupid."
Thank
Crystal,
you.
what are your thoughts, Crystal?
Matt. Hey, Crystal, girl.
Hey, Evelyn. Hello, Wes and Chris and Zahid and everybody else that I see in
Robert.
here.
That's Robert. Robert's
Robert,
right there.
Robert. Um, man, Evelyn,
Rob's
yeah,
right there.
dump that. Dead that. Chris, I agree. I'm with you. I'm with teaching because, you know, sometimes it's rough out here. Evelyn, it's rough out here. It's rough out here, and you need to walk away because it's really not worth it. The red flag of you having to go pick him up was I'm not judgmental, but I'm just saying it's certain things. Like Chris said, you talk to somebody, you get to know them, and then a date happens, and I think it's steps. Everybody we jump into things and we have these expectations. I have expectations,
Mm-hmm.
but Evelyn, we walking away from that.
Yes, I did.
I don't want to. Okay, Because I
I
look,
don't
I
Go
don't
ahead,
want to
Rob.
waste no time.
I don't know many women that are not walking away from that.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the
I
thing.
am definitely saying walk away. I'm not saying come back to the situation. What I'm saying is, in the future, if a guy asks you out and you don't know and you haven't vetted him in the, to see where he stands, here's an alternative to say, I would like to go to one of these three places, take a look at the menu, and you pick. It's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't. 9 out of 10,
Hey,
I'm probably
Chris,
not going to ask. I'm
this
not going
is we can't be on this platform saying things like alpha male this, alpha male that, and then expect a woman to do something like that for a man. That's insanity.
Listen, listen,
What?
listen to what I'm saying to you, Shaheed. I 1,000% agree with you. That's why I started off with this is what I do. And you can't do what Chris does because I've been practicing certain behaviors and learning certain disciplines
I don't
because
ever want to do that, Chris. Ever.
huh? You said
I don't.
what?
I don't ever want to do that ever.
Shahid, watch it. Let me. So Shahid, I know that the 5, 6, 7 of us are in a different category. We've been connected for the last 2 years, so we know the type of men that we are. But not everybody. And I'm not saying that we're the best of the best, but I mean we're in the cream. We're in the cream of the crop, right? But at the same time there are men that won't notice if somebody don't tell them.
to. They do tell them. They
They
still
can't
don't
just
know.
go from
So
Well,
you expect?
you
let me
can't
let me.
go from yo where you want me to go where you want to go. I take you out, pick a restaurant, and then come back with yo I'm gonna pay. He gonna keep repeating the same behaviors.
What? That
A
don't even
guy,
make
a
sense.
regular guy that's not like any of the guys on this panel. The guy that Evelyn is talking about will not ever elevate to the level of dating that we're at now in our dating phase, because because he doesn't know to change his behaviors. He'll continue to repeat the same behaviors and get the same results. There's no way for him to know that this is not working
You
unless
can tell them.
he does something different. Unless he acknowledges, hey, you know what? This ain't working. But some niggas is gonna be niggas and they not gonna change because they don't know to change. That's
Yeah,
all I'm
you,
saying.
Chris.
So,
You know
so
to change.
yeah.
Chris, think about. He's not going to stop wanting to date women after his interaction with Evelyn.
But he's
He's
not
gonna,
gonna stop asking them to pick the place either.
I guarantee, if he realized that this ain't working for
I
me,
completely disagree that he's gonna realize that, yo, I need to stop this. I guarantee you, matter of fact, Evelyn, do you still have that guy's number?
No, I have a whole different phone number. No, so no,
Okay.
no. I just feel even though what you're
You
saying,
deleted his number? Or you deleted the thread or
no, I blocked, deleted. Yeah, but
well, you
you're
can unblock
partially
numbers.
right.
Chris,
No,
my
you're
mic on,
partially
Chris.
right when you saying. I just feel like he's not gonna learn. You can tell him and tell him and tell him and tell him. I'm pretty sure somebody done told him plenty of times. I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person. But however, that don't mean he's gonna change. You know what I'm saying? What's the saying? You can lead the horse to the water, make him drink the water, but he's not gonna drink the water. I mean,
You
it's
lead a horse to water, but you can't make them think.
you can't
It's
say
drink
just
Westbrook.
like
No, you
he's
can't make them
gonna
think either.
You
he's
crazy.
still gonna do it regardless. So
The way to do it, the right way to do it is to be able to care for the first date, regardless of what the cost is. But
okay.
if you're not there, you need an alternative.
Is
Hmm.
my mic on?
You need an alternative.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay.
It's very low, though, brother.
It's
It's very
low.
low. All right. Let me.
Yes.
I'm gonna scoot it up for the time being, and I'm gonna talk right into it.
Yes.
Um,
Thank you for getting
because
the mic, Robert.
I've been had this mic, man. You late on that. You late on the news, but
I'm not. I'm just saying thank you.
oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Because I was thinking Chris was tripping too, just like Shaheed and Wes was saying. And to a certain part, yeah, it's not a woman's job to teach a man how to be a man. So that's number one, first and foremost. It's not a woman's position to do that. But something that Evan said is, she didn't care about his ride. She didn't care about that. So she went and picked him up and took him on the date. So that to me changes the whole thing. It's like, well, if you're not caring about his finances, Being able to
No,
give them
that's
that
not what
option.
she said, Rob.
Well,
That's not what she said.
what's the state of his car?
Let him finish. Let him
Yeah.
rock.
You building a false premise, though. She didn't say I don't care about his finances. She said I don't care about his car. That's what she
You're
said.
right. You're right. And maybe that's a little presumptuous of me. But the point that I'm trying to make is for those who don't mind meeting a person where they're at, depending on where they're at. Because there was a time just before I met y'all, I went from making a good middle six-figure number all the way down to starting over at 0. And at that point, when I wanted to go out on a date or I wanted to hang out with somebody, it was a little tough, and I had to make decisions. And of course, alpha male in that position, or somebody who we use that damn term. I don't even like the term, but somebody that you would try to describe that position with would say, you know what? Either I can't afford that or I can't afford it. They would be straight up with it 100%, not run away to the bathroom or whatever to try to hide it, right? But being able to say, hey, you know what? Look at this menu and take a peek at there, see if there's something you like. And that person has the opportunity to say, you know what? I can't afford this place. He gets to pick and choose what options it is. It's a way to lead somebody, if you're interested in them, to lead them to make a decision that's not going to leave them feeling hurt whenever they're out on a date with you.
Yeah, but this is all secondary, though. This is all secondary actions. The proper thing to do was say, like Chris is first, like, hey, it's Tuesday. Let's go to Taco Tuesday. That's the alpha. That's the leader thing to do. Don't even put yourself in a position to not be able to
afford it,
execute it. Like, why would you set yourself up for failure?
But that's what Chris's point is some people,
because he don't know no better.
People don't know no better. That's Chris's whole point. Is some people don't know no better,
and this is how they learn. Like this is how
Shahid, I can guarantee you that if Evelyn found his number, she can ask him, how many women how many dates have you been on, and have you had the women pick the date, pick the place? And I guarantee you this behavior is repeated.
Chris,
why? Because his knowledge has never been expanded. He's never been challenged to say, bruh, stop letting women, stop this stupid shit.
What happens if he just ran into a bunch of stupid women? Then what?
I think it's possible to have had the chasm of women, right? But Evelyn comes off like she has a master's degree, an undergrad, a master's, and she makes a good job. Like she has a good head on her shoulders. She already told me, and aside from that, she already said that my father told me. So she has an upbringing that says a lot about her. So she not no broke down crazy woman. I guarantee you he's met hundreds of Evelyns, or let's say 20 Evelyns. And he probably did the same thing with each one because nobody told him stop doing this stupid stuff.
Really quick, let's get Evelyn really quick. Shannon, if you could put swap Evelyn and Crystal on the stage so everyone knows who the subject matter is. Whenever you can, if we can do that.
So Chris, you believe that this man, he did all this for so many dates and never changed. You think your method, he's just all of a sudden going to change?
I don't think that he's going to all of a sudden change. I'm saying that if you introduce an idea or you introduce a chink, right, or a change, it could lead to. I'm not saying that it will. I'm saying that it could, right? Like for every person on this panel, we were at place A before we got to the level of understanding that we are at now. And we didn't get to the new expanded level of understanding until somebody said something or we heard something or we saw something that there had to be a cause in order for us to get to the effect that we're at. Does that make sense?
No, because your method takes more work.
It does not make sense?
No.
So you just got the knowledge and you just knew. You were born this way.
I learned from trial and error, Chris.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
First of all, Shahid rides a horse, so there's something innate that just comes from a man that rides a horse. I just want to
so Chris,
put that in there.
The reason, I've done that before. I've invited women out on dates and told them to pick the restaurant. You know why I told them to pick the restaurant? because I didn't want to. So now you now you expect this man to choose between three. He already didn't want to choose one. Now you're giving him more on his plate to do, and you think that's going to work?
I don't see why not.
Because he didn't want to choose one.
But
And
here's the thing. Here's the
If
thing.
a woman approached me with your approach, I probably wouldn't. I'm like, look, I already told you to pick a restaurant. You didn't do it. You must not want to go out.
And here's the thing, Shahid, you're speaking from the level of I'm at a completely different level of dating. This
No,
guy
I'm
is
at
nowhere
another
close to the
level.
level of dating that you're
It
at.
has nothing
He's
to
not
do
even
with
at the level of understanding that you're at.
but
nothing to do with dating. It
His
has
behaviors will not change unless there's something that
Chris,
comes to
but
help
here's
him change his behaviors.
and
we're
here's the
confusing
thing.
dating with common sense, Chris. This is
Say
common sense.
what?
This is common sense. This has nothing to do
It is
with
not
dating.
common sense because if it's common sense, then he would not have told her to pick the restaurant,
No,
and
some people don't have
he
common
would have been
sense.
able to pay for it. That's
Shahid is
common
saying
Hold,
this.
sense.
hold on, hold on.
Common
Shahid is
sense
saying
I want
is
to ask Evelyn the question on that.
common
I wanna
sense
ask Evelyn the
is if
question
I
on that.
have a vehicle that suggests that I'm able
Turn your
to
mic up, Rob.
provide for myself, then I should be able to pay for a damn $60 date. That's
No,
common
Chris,
sense.
Let me
you're
say
not
this.
understanding.
Let's
Go
ask
ahead,
Evelyn
Rob.
the question then
I just want to
to
say
make
one
it
quick
distinct.
thing. I want to say one
Go ahead,
thing, Rick, Rob, before you ask that question, and you're still a little low. You might have to talk directly
Yeah,
to that mic.
I don't know what's up with the mic today. But go ahead.
Yeah, you better. Really quick. This is what I would say though is here's the proof is actually in the pudding. We're experiencing the proof of what Shahid is saying. Evelyn is here, getting some advice, sharing her story, looking to see is there looking for better outcomes. He is not. We're echoing Rob through your mic, but he's not. He's not on our podcast. He's probably not on somebody else's podcast tonight. No, mute your mic, Rob. Echoing. He's not anywhere else trying to
That
get
might be somebody
information.
else.
That is the point.
That might be
He
somebody
is
else.
he is not even trying to learn. He's somewhere comfortable in the same tactics, getting potentially the same results, or worse, somebody is doing either what you said or doing even more, which is going along with it, and it's working for him. And he'll never learn otherwise until he actually bumps his head.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
No, because I can just see a world. Is it
Hold on. Air traffic controller.
is it loud now? Is it jacked up? What's
Real
happening?
loud.
Oh shit! Well, it started working now. Ain't that something? Ain't that about something? So I'm assuming this is better.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. Because I can see a world with somebody. Because now we're talking about somebody who was just asking, hey, where do you want to go? Is that fella from around your area, Evelyn, or is he
I don't know. Actually, about 30 minutes away.
about this? So do you think he knows the area? He knows places where he can go eat around where you reside.
No, we actually went to somewhere else, wholly from opposite from where we live at. I think Sandy Springs.
Because to me, the question, because I've asked that question before, hey, where do you want to go? But it's because I didn't know the area, and it's before I had contacts to where I can actually call somebody and say, hey, where should I go eat in Houston, or where should I go eat in Dallas, or where should I go eat at Georgia at this point, because I got Chris out there. So I can imagine asking that question and then getting an answer and saying, hey, that's where you want to go, let's go. I can't imagine myself, I'm going to look at the menu to know whether it's going to be something I want there. And whether or not, because if you talking about this damn, $400 a meal for a first date, and I don't know you like that, let's go get some tacos.
Okay.
But I can imagine that question being a valid question. So the question is not necessarily invalid. It's the execution of following through. It's the execution of being man enough to say, you know what, I ain't got it like that. And this is just a $60 bill, which is probably the biggest part to me. That should be like, you know what, go ahead and leave him alone, because it's a $60 bill. If I'm not mistaken, that's what you said. Yeah, you don't run from a $60 bill. You eat that. Even if you can't afford it, you eat that.
Here's my final statement. I want to bring Crystal into the conversation. The hamster does not get off the wheel unless a human comes in and pulls them off, or unless they fall. But that's all I gotta say. Otherwise, it's gonna be a hamster on the wheel, doing the same thing doing the same actions, repeating the same thing over and over. He won't learn unless there's something that causes him to fall off the hamster wheel. That's
Right,
all I'm
like
saying.
like her kicking him off the hamster wheel.
Exactly.
And that's fine, but
Hey Rob,
that's
mute your mic.
after the fact. Anyways, Crystal, thank you so much for your patience. I apologize. This is, as you can see, it's a spirited conversation. And there could be a before and an after, right? And it's perfectly fine, right? Crystal, welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. And Evelyn, I didn't know you was in Atlanta. I want to ask you something. Welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything, Crystal. Um, do me a favor, because Evelyn actually introduced herself last week. Do me a huge favor. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from. A little bit about yourself, and then go ahead with your question, and then pose your question as my question is. And if we need context, then we'll ask you for some more context. Okay? You're muted. I can't hear you.
Oh, here we go. Hey,
Yeah, you gotta come off mute.
I'm originally from New York City, Queens. I'm living in North Carolina, Winston-Salem. Been here a minute. I'm out here.
Out here.
Graduated. I'm out here. Graduated from, since you found me where you found me, from Winston State University. I'm a Ram, yes. And I do stuff in the community, and I like to make money. I'm trying to figure out how I can make more. Yeah.
Thug with it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your question for us tonight?
So, since Evelyn started off with her story, I have a question based on if continuing to date someone that you may have to, I guess, teach things to. How do
What's
you
your
go about
question?
that?
And then we'll get some context.
How do you go about teaching that person?
Okay, I'll give us some context. So help us. How long you been dating this guy?
4 years.
Put a pin in that.
Yep. I will.
Dating,
Take
dating,
hold his hand.
dating,
Hold
getting
his
to
hand.
know each other, or in an exclusive relationship.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, clearly after 4 years, I
Oh,
hope y'all
we're
not
past
getting to
dating.
know each other.
We're not gonna suppose nothing. I want to know from her. We ain't let her answer. Is she frozen?
Oh no!
Yeah.
Don't freeze me.
Okay. Dating, talking, or in an exclusive relationship. Ah, dog, she done froze.
She froze because after 4 years,
Cause look, if you talking to a guy for 4 years, that's why I want to clarify.
But
You've been talking to this dude for 4 years, and you still trying to teach him?
well, what is it that she's trying to teach him? Because there's a lot of realms,
And
there's a
that's the
lot of
next thing.
dynamics that change in 4 years. There's a lot of dynamics.
4 years, man.
You gotta turn your mic down a little bit.
Okay, she back. All right, she back.
Jerron was about to. What'd you say, Jerron?
No, I just the 4 years, but I'm gonna let her go on though. Get some more information.
We just gotta have Shan bring her back in.
We might need your psychoanalyst expertise today, Jerron.
You don't need
After you finish with
no
her, then I need you to psychoanalyze what's going on with Chris. Why he want to hold all these dudes' hands?
Wes, I know you ain't talking.
I'm not listening.
Chris,
I might hold the ladies' hands, but you ain't never gonna catch me holding these.
So you mean to tell me, Shaheed, that there's no man that's come into your life that's helped you become a better man?
Yeah, you know what? They let me fuck up.
Right.
Okay, but that was your way, right? I have a mentor that hasn't let me mess up on some things.
But Chris,
some things I failed on, some things I didn't.
But Chris, what the point you're missing is, yes, I had men that were in my life that helped me. You're trying to teach Evelyn something.
He's trying to teach Evelyn how to help the man.
No. I'm saying that this could help her to avoid a situation like this.
No, she good.
I need this. I need Buddy and all the boys that act like him to come up to the show.
Right.
Bro,
But she
what
good.
are you doing?
Chris,
Listen, it doesn't help her.
Right.
Go ahead, Shahid.
Did we get Crystal back?
What is the likelihood of a grown adult man 40 years old? He older than me. He ain't gonna listen to me.
I mean, they're gonna have to listen to somebody if they plan on,
This is how he would learn from me. Mm-hmm. I could show him my resume when it comes to women, and then I'm gonna teach him. And then I could teach him based on that. Because when he see my and I hate to brag, but when he see my resume when it comes to women, then he gonna be like, "Well, damn, how'd you go about that?" I'm not doing stupid shit like ducking off to the bathroom on a $60 bill.
He went to go check his account.
Hey, Shan, if you're in earshot, bring Crystal up. She's in the back. She's backstage. Go ahead, Evelyn. What were you about to say?
You know when he just said he went to the bathroom check his bill, I didn't even think about that.
He went to go check his account.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
What day
he
was
to
it?
Go check his account.
It was on Saturday.
Because here's the thing. He can't be, the bill come, he can't be looking at his account in front of you.
But you should have knew that before you came to the restaurant. You knew that.
I agree with you. Listen, you need to have it. So you need to have at least, let's just say you don't know where you're going. What restaurant y'all go to?
We went to Sage in Sandy Springs.
I've never been to Sage.
And it's so good. I'm telling you, have live music. I'm telling you, and then he asked, okay, what's your order after me? I said the shrimp and
Where is it at in Sandy Springs?
Off of, in Dunwoody, off of, not Roswell Road.
Peachtree Industrial?
Right across from the mall. What's the mall? Was that
really?
Yeah.
That's not North DeKalb. That's I know what you're talking about. Right across from the mall.
Like I think Cumberland Mall. Is that Cumberland?
No, Cumberland Mall is off 285, and that's in Marietta.
Mall.
I know what mall you're talking about. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. So is it over there by Seasons 52 on the backside?
It's by itself. It's on the opposite side. It's on by the bank and everything. It's like on by gas.
You talking about in that strip across the street?
Yes.
Huh.
And it's nice. You should go there, play live music and everything. And it's I ordered water. I don't drink, so I'm actually a cheap date. So
don't say you're a cheap date now.
I mean, not saying a cheap date like that, but I don't drink.
Dangle of $20.
But no, I don't really drink. So have I had some drink? Yeah, but I don't really drink. So I don't know what was his issue. I just never had that. I was just shocked when he said that. Are you going to? I never.
You said Buddy Drive. And what area do you live in?
I live in Conyers area. Live in Conyers area, and I think he lived like in not Union City, somewhere out that way.
Man, you know how many places y'all could have went to in between
but
Conyers
see,
and Union City?
No. I'll travel somewhere if it's good food. You hear me?
Okay, that's fine. Have you ever been to Coaxum Seafood right on exit 80? So next time you go in there, go and ask for Harry. He's the owner. Great guy. Okay. He's a HBCU alum. Okay. And I'm waiting for Crystal to come back. Shane, if you're in the back, we need to get Crystal back onto the show.
And get me off of this big screen.
Okay. All right. Touchdown. All right. Fix your Wi-Fi because I need to know. Y'all in an exclusive relationship? Y'all talking? Yes. Y'all go together.
Thank you.
We are in an exclusive relationship. I want to declare that because y'all was talking junk.
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 41.
And what are you trying to teach him?
So, yeah. It's what I'm trying to learn.
Okay.
You said what you're trying to learn?
Yeah.
So you're trying to learn something, and y'all want to learn that y'all to learn together.
Right. So kind of like the approach. You see, I'm rough.
Lord, I thought you was that clarified. I thought you was talking about something else. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah, just I mean, I'm a person of grace, and like I said, you get with a person and not concerned about the car. You know, all those don't matter. I'm one of them where I'm not getting married unless he got $1 million plus. So, you know, I think certain expectations that somebody might have in a certain
Wait,
relationship,
wait, wait,
certain
Wait,
wait,
what you
wait,
say?
wait. Back
What
up.
you
You
say?
said you're not getting married unless he has $1 million plus.
yeah, just a figure of speech type thing. But
So I'm
Well,
for
gonna go
me,
on
I hope
and
so.
bow
I
out right
understood.
now.
I understood what she meant, but
Yeah.
come on, you
I
know
don't
what
Nah,
I'm,
think
look.
I'm just
she's not saying like he got to be a millionaire. But
right. He has to be.
My heart is hurt.
I'm sorry, Wes, but you just have to be financially well off more than me for me to
Right.
even
But you've
consider.
been with her for 4 years, so you obviously are telling a bad story.
No, I'm not
no,
telling. I'm just saying I'm not
Chris,
getting married to
she's
him.
just saying, yeah, she's saying she's not getting
So
married.
you cool with just kicking it with him and just let him be your plaything.
It's
I'm not
not a
saying it's
play thing,
him.
Chris.
No, it's exclusive, but
They've
that's the
been
part
together
that
since she
even
was
even
37.
no, even
They
yeah,
4 years deep.
But
even
Chris,
There's
as
no, yeah, but
everybody don't want to get married.
no, it's not that you
Crystal,
don't
do
want
you
to
want
get
to get
married.
married?
I don't
Oh,
really want to get married.
So you fine with just y'all just kicking it?
It's
They
not.
not
I
just
don't think it's just a kick in it. It's not. I don't. I don't feel like I have to go and legally get married to someone.
To have a committed relationship and a long-term partnership. Got it.
Right. Because
Okay.
Right.
I don't, you know, I don't, there's no children. That's not an option. That's not, you know, that's not an option. So I don't feel like there's any other reason to actually get married. I don't, you know, if I want to do a partnership of some sort for businesses, I don't need to be married to do that. I don't need to be married to, you know, connect my assets or offer my assets. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
hilarious.
It doesn't. I feel like a committed relationship doesn't have to be stamped by a marriage certificate. So exclusive with an agreement, like it's cool. But and again, so working with that, like that's where it's at.
So wait, so I'm lost. So what are you asking though?
I
What are
was
you trying
asking
to
uh, my approach. So me and my partner are almost we're almost alike. We come from the same neighborhood. We just have different backgrounds, but our personalities and things of that nature are alike. So I am I guess aggressive or whatever the case may be. So my approach to helping him change certain things that he wants to change, like,
mm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, not being aggressive with it. Like, I feel like I've become, and they said, other guys that I've dated before or whatever it said, I fall into, they don't know how to take me.
So wait. You said something very key. You said change. Change stood out to me, but you
Mhm.
also said change what he wants to change.
Right.
Has he said that there's things he wants to change?
Yes.
It sounds like what I'm hearing is she's saying like she doesn't know how to help her partner.
And what
Right.
That's
that
all.
he says he wants to change.
I, I, I think it's changing the habits that that he wants to change. Like taking that step. So it's like Chris was saying, having somebody to help you, you know, having another guy or something like that to tell another guy that they, you know, they messing up or whatever the case may be. Like it's hard when you the girl trying to
Right.
help because then they don't want to take it. You know what I'm saying? They looking at you like the mother, you nagging, you this, that, and the other. When you really like, I'm not, but what they see is, So it's like, how do I approach? If what do I write on paper? Do
So
you know what I'm saying? Do
so so what is one of the things? What's an example of something that he wants to change? Because how you approach it has everything to do with and whether or not it's even for you to approach has everything to do with what the thing is. Some things we need help with that might be really deep and maybe you and here's the other thing, you're not everyone's we have a therapist on the stage and you're not everyone's therapist, so there's some things that are so deep that they're not for you to help. You don't have the capacity to help or the education to help with. There's other things that we can help our partners with that are still deep, But then there's some superficial things that they don't need no help with, and really them wanting help or saying that they want to change this thing is really just rules because they're too easy to do. So what's an example of something that we're talking about?
So I could give you several, and Wes, with what you said, because of what you said, it would be breaking down the superficial stuff, and I'm eating the meat and spitting the bones type thing.
Right.
So what you're saying is, let's make it real. How do you approach a man, tell him he need to go to therapy?
Why do you feel it's your responsibility to tell him that, though?
I didn't say it was my responsibility. I feel like if I'm choosing to be with this person and I know that that's what needs to happen,
So
how do you
Jerron,
take steps to?
yeah,
Well,
let's have Jerron speak to that. That's his feel. He knows, he has the
Yeah.
answer for you.
well, my question first. Well, I'll first make the statement. You said if you choosing to be with
First of all,
someone.
Jerron, can we see your face just a little bit more, brother?
Yeah, my first statement would
Would
be
appreciate it.
if you're choosing to be with somebody and you made the statement,
What's
you
the stage,
said
man?
he needs to go. He needs to go to therapy. Why do you feel like he needs to go to therapy? First of all,
Because he has several issues and traumas and things of this nature, and he's admitted that he needs to go to therapy. Like I have a background in mental health and things of that nature, so talking to him and having conversations, that it ends up being that, and I can't be that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you need to go, and I'm getting to the point where it's like I'm shutting it off. Like Wes said, with the superficial stuff, spitting, eating the meat, spitting out bones type stuff. But even with that, that'll get tiring and exhausting. So it's like, again, choosing to be in a relationship and wanting to help, and that person saying they wanting that, and them, baby steps. It's steps. Like I said, 4 years. You know what I'm saying? It's been steps. It's been progress to, things. There's been progress. And again, I don't have a timeline. I ain't got an end goal for certain. Like I said, certain things I don't have an end goal for. So it's like you said, needing this there. We've established that there needs to be some counsel involved that doesn't include me being a counselor.
but my question is it the time frame and the time length where it feels like you have to do this? I've put 4 years into this situation, so
No.
I'm trying to stay around because I want to stay around, obviously, because I'm here. But
No.
is it so it's not?
Mm-mm.
But do you feel like it's impacting
I
relationships?
think
do.
so down the line, I think you can see 2-3 years from now how this is going to look, though. I don't think you have to
It
say
ain't going. It's not going. Yeah, it's not going the right way. And you said that you feel like it's impacting the relationship now. And so one thing that's extremely important for us to know, and I think a lot of times what we tend to do, and it happens with a lot of women too, they have this. It's really not the word for it, but like this fixer upper type of personality, or this hero complex where they feel like they can save everybody or save their significant other because in their viewpoint or in their eyes, they see this specific person as this type of way. Or if they was just to go and get this help, or if they would go work on their issues internally, I feel like this specific relationship can move to this point. Or I have this specific type of vision of, or outlook where I think we could possibly go if this person would just go and take care of their own issues. But I think the bigger thing is, like you said, he's told you that he needs help, but it doesn't seem like he's taking forth the effort to go and get the assistance that he needs. Because we know words are just talking.
Mm-hmm.
You're not actually putting the action behind the words. I can talk all day to tell you something to get you to the point where, as long as I talk to her and tell her this is what I'm going to do, I can keep her around. I'm just going to keep feeding her all these excuses. But it's, because I know certain people now, you can feed some women excuses all day long, and they're still going to be around because they're still holding on to that viewpoint that, okay, he said he's going to do it eventually, what he said he's going to do it this day. But if the actions are not lined up behind the words, then it's really just falsified information. And so you got to ask yourself, too now, Crystal, why am I still here? Because it seems to me as if it's not impacting the relationship in a positive way. It seems like you're trying to create those boundaries, and it seems to me now at one point in time you may have been a crutch for him, a mental crutch where it feels like, okay, I know Crystal is here, so although I say I want to go get therapy, I know she loves me and cares about me, and so if I want to talk to her about my issues, she gonna complain and everything, but she's still gonna be there to listen to me. And so you got to look yourself in the mirror too and ask yourself, out the 4 years, if I can get on this stage and say, he knows he needs help. I see that he needs help. We both know that he needs help, but he's not getting the help. So why am I still subjecting myself to this situation right here instead of cutting loose or cutting bait and moving on with my life? Because at the end of the day, if we never go get help for our particular issues that we're dealing with internally, like Shahid said, they're not going to get better. What's going to end up happening is they're going to continue to get dramatically worse, and worse, and to the point where it's going to actually start bringing you down as it's already bringing him down. So it's not going to just be, it's impacting him and affecting him. It's going to start impacting you and affecting you as well. So it's something that you got to think about. And I don't know if you got any type of remarks right now, but it's a question that you're really going to have to think about long, hard, and internally of what's keeping you there. There's something that's keeping you there when out the 4 years, there's a lot of things that seems to be needing to be fixed that they're not being worked on, but yet you're still there.
But
and if I could add,
it sounds like that's why she's here though, because she sees like, hey, this is I'm not hearing like it's been the same way for 4 years and now she's tired of it. It seemed like she's starting to see the relationship or things slowly start to deteriorate, and she's trying to get ahead of it. Like she's saying, and she knows what needs to be said. She just doesn't believe her approach will be beneficial to the relationship, because it sounds like to me that she can be harsh. It sounds like to me that she's heard him say he's going to do this, he needs to do that, and he's not taking the steps that he needs to take. And now she's starting to, she may be feeling the effects of it, or she might just be tired of it. Like, yeah, look, I'm tired. You said you was going to do X, Y, and Z 6 months ago, a year ago, and you still ain't done it. Now she's looking for that way. How do I get him to, how do I say these things? How do I get through to him? Because she might not have the words, or she may have exhausted her words or whatever. Like, it don't sound like, and I know why she's there. She cares for this person, clearly. Like, so it's not an easy, like, oh, I'm gonna just walk away type thing. Like when you build with somebody for over an extended amount of time, it's easy for us to say like, oh yeah, why are you here? You need to walk away. I've been in those situations where like I probably needed to walk away, but the love was so strong. It's like you can't just do that cold turkey.
So Crystal, is it what is it? Is it that you don't have the words, or are you afraid if you say it how you're thinking it or how you're feeling it, that it's going to be the demise of the relationship?
I don't think it'll be a demise. So I'm not tired, but it's like I said, I don't want to walk away because it's like I don't want to waste. Again, I love him. It's not been the same thing.
Did you say you don't want to waste?
No, I said I don't want to waste. Like when I say waste, I mean like
the investment that you've had in the relationship. Right. You don't want to throw it all away.
It's not like it's somebody who just sitting there and you pouring. It's equal. That's my. That's my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm one of them people where if I ain't with you, I want you to be okay. You know what I'm saying?
Want me to be okay?
I want you to be okay, Wes. But I'm just
So
saying,
Seriously.
yeah.
you know, so if I broke up with him tomorrow, I still want him to go to therapy because I'm gonna just be real. My number don't change, so like I'm gonna pick up the phone because I'm just that person. If I'm not with you know what I'm saying? Like it's communication, it's the support, that's what I'm doing. That's what I want to do with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
how do I
So in
approach
this
it?
scenario, he shouldn't just bump his head.
Oh
So
no,
go ahead. Answer that, Chris.
no, he
Just,
should bump his head. He's bumped
So
his
I
head.
mean, because the
so here,
narrative before was
right,
don't help a man and
well,
let
I'll
him bump
speak to
his
that.
head.
I didn't say that.
I'm
But
not
I'll
saying you. I'm not saying
right,
you, Crystal.
but
I'm
I'll
just
speak to
saying
that, Chris.
the,
So
the
I'll
narrative
speak to that.
before was let the nigga bump his head, let him fall
Right.
down and get up, and he'll
So
figure it out.
This
But
so
is
here's
now
the deal.
it's
Hold on, wait,
but
wait, let me
now it's
that's
let's help
totally
him.
different.
well, let me
Let's say
no.
Chris,
Let
this
me
more
It's a
serious
totally
topic anyway.
different.
Let
wait. Let me address this. Let me address that though, because actually, Chris, that might be the answer, and I think Jerron could really speak to this and school us all here. But my thinking is, first of all, it sounds like Crystal, like you're in a great place. Sounds like you're really sober about it. Sounds like you're deeply invested and you care, but at the same time, you are acknowledging your own the mental space that you need to stay in, the peace that you need to have, and you're acknowledging the fact that no matter how it goes, you're good. Your number doesn't change. There's still love there, and you want someone to be okay. You sound like you're in a great place. That being said, the reality here that we might be left with after you make that communication or say it as directly as you can, the reality might be that yes, Chris, he needs to bump his head. The reality might be that she needs to walk away because to continue to stay, even if she's saying you baby you really need to pursue this therapy, but I'm here even if you don't. That's what we call enabling. And Jerron, you can speak to that because sometimes the best way to help a person is to walk away, is to leave that relationship, or is to when they go to the bathroom to check their account, dip out and leave them with the check so that they like somebody might have to bump their head. I
I
hope you
gotta
listening,
stop. These
Evelyn.
are not the same things, man. Come on,
at
now.
They're
all.
not.
Like,
They're not. But the
come
but the
on.
context, the foundation of
The foundation is a man needs help.
so
Yeah, it's different
Jerron can
when
speak to it.
it's different
Go
when
ahead.
you're talking about trauma and mental health. It's totally different.
Right. But it
No, it's
doesn't
not.
change the fact that the answer might be the same, which Jerron, you can speak to the enabling part. If you sometimes you have to walk away in order for the person to reach rock bottom, whatever that is, whether it's mental health rock bottom or whether it's an addiction of some sort, rock bottom, whatever that is, we enable them
I
when we
agree.
don't.
I agree. I work in mental health myself, but when
Yeah,
you have to deal with mental health with a fine tooth comb because
for
when
sure.
you deal with mental health and past trauma, she could be the person that's holding him together, and we don't know what the results of walking away from him will look like.
Right.
So
But
we can't just say something as basic as you need to walk
but
away. We
but
don't know what that looks like.
right, but here's the thing, you're absolutely right. But here's the one key point, and then Jerron, it'd be
So
really helpful for
wrong.
you to jump in here and straighten me out, clean this up, or whatever if I'm
Well,
wrong. But
clean both of us up
the
because I want to go off the west so you can clean all that up because
because
I got the total opposite. Go ahead.
because you're right, Shahid. But we have to remember that there's another human being involved here, which is Crystal.
Yeah,
And
but
as
she
much as
knows
she might be,
more than
I
that.
get it. I know, and as much as she might be there she might be the thing holding them together. What we all know is that it's not her obligation or responsibility, and at some point, only Crystal knows when there's a line crossed between where there's a difference between her holding him together, but her falling apart.
I agree.
That's where choice to hold her.
Where's she going in and out? Your AOL is messing up, Wes.
If
Uh,
if she holds together and stays just because of what I'm on.
Yeah, we're not getting.
Well, to the
Yeah,
other
we
side
only
of
got
what
bits and pieces of it.
yeah, to the other
Um,
side of what Wes
Wait,
was
Rob.
saying. Wes, we can't hear you, Wes. You break somebody text him, let him know you're breaking up. To the other part of what Wes was saying, though, to the total opposite end of that, and Jerron, if you can square it up all the way after that, to me, a possible approach, and you know the situation best because to me, you kind of hinted at is somewhat of a reciprocal relationship. He's your road dog. Y'all go together. So I don't think he's necessarily tearing you down. Um, to me, a approach would be to approach with love. Like, hey, look, I love you, but I do need to hold you accountable. You've already said yourself that you need to go speak to somebody, and I'm gonna be there with you the whole way through. I'm not gonna leave you. I'm gonna be your support, giving that ultimate support and letting him know that he can go and be vulnerable and speak to somebody is another possible approach, and then ending it with love and letting him know, look, and you can still throw in there, I can't be that person for you. My words don't work, or whatever the case you want to do, however you have to word it. And even if you have to tell them, look, at the end of the day, I can't continue a relationship if this help doesn't come. But if you go get the help, I love you and I'm there. Or if you choose to keep the relationship, you do. That's up to you. I'm not in it. But an approach with love can also work as well.
It's and see sometimes, and you made the statement. And I don't know because I don't know Chris' personal life, but yeah, I think you made a statement. It was like a generalization where he was like, he may not be tearing her down, and he may not be tearing her down. But you ever heard the statement where you have a person that grew up in like a chaotic situation, and that's what they was kind of raised into, chaos. And so when they grow up, chaos is the norm for them. And so, to people that doesn't grow up in chaos, it may seem like, okay, man, something wrong with this situation. It's something wrong with that picture. But to that person, it's totally fine. And so a lot of times, and I'm not saying this Crystal, I'm just saying in general, a lot of times you have people that they've been around people so long, kind of holding those individuals up, where they stop actually really focusing in on what they're getting out of the situation. And it's more so what they're giving to that other person. And sometimes we can lose ourselves or lose where we're coming from in situations like that. One thing I honestly, truly, truly believe, and when I talk to clients, um, and even my substance abuse clients specifically, you can't make a person do anything until they're ready to do it themselves. And that goes for therapy. That goes for getting substance abuse treatment. You can, and it's like somebody said earlier, you can lead the person to the water, but you can't make them drink it. I can tell you all day till I turn blue in the face, you should go to therapy. I think this will help our relationship. More so, I don't even care about the relationship. I think this will help you. But until that person gets sick and tired, they're not going to do it. And a lot of times, the thing that continues to lead that person to doing the same thing that they've been doing, or the circumstances and surroundings are the same. Sometimes you have to pull things away for a person to take things more seriously. So if I'm sitting in a chair and the chair is holding me up, then okay, I continue to sit in the chair. But until I move that chair away from me, then I'm not going to ever know what could possibly be on the other side. It's just like a baby. When a baby's starting to learn how to walk, they start off crawling. Then mom trying to help them walk, they may hold them up and kind of, take some few steps, but then they fall down. They continue to fall down, continue to get back up. They may cry and stuff like that. But it's not until mom basically kind of let them go that they kind of start walking on their own. And they kind of start practicing a level of independence. It's the same thing with therapy. If I got a woman or somebody that's continuing to, they're there for me all the time, there's nothing wrong with being there for people. Or I know I can always go to this person when I'm in trouble. This is not even my wife now. We're not married or anything like that. But if I have any issues going on, I can go to that person. Late at night, I can call them. Anytime I'm in trouble, I can go to them. Then I really don't have anybody holding me accountable. Because at the end of the day, I know anytime something's going on or anytime I'm in any type of trouble, I can go straight to this person and they're going to be there for me and do this and do that. At some point in time, we got to hold ourselves accountable for what we deserve. And a lot of times, I feel like, a lot of times people take a back seat to other people's needs instead, and they stop focusing on their own needs. And it's not until, I think Wes said it earlier, sometimes you got to get downright nasty with people. Hey, you got to walk away, and it can be hard to walk away, and it's not easy to walk away. I don't care if you've been with somebody one year. Once you have an attachment with that person, you have a built up bond with that person. It's hard to walk away. Anybody you love and truly care about, because you don't want to see that person hurt. But it's not your responsibility to take care of somebody else if they're not willing to take care of themselves. Because if you spend all day taking care of somebody else, then what about yourself? And so sometimes we have to walk away, or sometimes we have to walk away. It don't even have to be permanently, but to just show this person that, hey, this is what life can be like without me if you don't get the help that you need. Because, I may not be here for you always. And you're going to have to learn how to live on your own. But you're going to have to learn how to thrive on your own without me being there, because I may not always be there. So sometimes we have to walk away, no matter how hard it may pain for us to walk away. I'm pretty sure everybody been in a relationship or something where you love that person, y'all both loved each other, but you all knew also that in order to get where y'all were trying to go in life, you all were going to have to separate. Still got love for that person, but it just wasn't working out anymore. And you walk away knowing that you always love that person, and that you always have that person in your heart. But in order for you to continue to grow where you're trying to grow, y'all going in different directions, y'all got to go apart. And sometimes those are the most painful situations that we have to be in. And so it leads me back to what I'm saying. I end here. Sometimes you got to walk away, even if it's temporarily, to get that person to see that, hey, if I don't change up some things, this is what I can potentially miss out and lose on.
Let me answer your question directly. Your question was, how do you say things someone, um, to someone that you love, right? I believe that for every woman, you need to master, Crystal, timing, tone, temperament, and touch. And of course, I was being facetious when I said, we help him, can't help the other guy, right? I mean, I'm all about trying to find, help, right? Find resources to make men better men. Timing. So the right timing, you can almost never predict, but it's definitely not in the middle of him sharing being vulnerable, or him, getting his trauma showing its ugly face. So you would literally have to figure out what is the best time. And sometimes you could literally just ask him, when is the best time for me to have a heart to heart with you? Because this is hurting me. One of the things that I share on my social media pages is is this, and I think it may help if you learn the right tone, because that's the next part, timing and tone, the tone to say it in. I think that it really can help a woman to tell a man, it hurts me when you do this, or I feel vulnerable, or I feel uncovered, or whatever it is, you put yourself in the situation, because obviously he cares about you and you for him, right? Um, I don't feel covered or as protected when you don't take this step, right? When you don't take the step to go to a therapist, or you don't research the therapist, or you don't, I feel uncovered in that aspect. I think that when you say it in the right tone and you add the right touch, right? I've known, and this works for me, whenever I was angry with my ex wife, I never wanted her to touch me. And what my therapist told me was her touching me in the middle of an argument rendered me defenseless. And I didn't understand that until I got divorced. And so now I am welcoming a woman to say something to me in the right time, with the right tone, and generally with a touch either on my shoulder, on my arm, or on my bicep, or on my forearm, right? Those typically get my attention the fastest. Now this is me. I don't know him, right? You can typically, maybe he likes, when you touch his face or his arm, or you bring whatever non-sexual physical touch that you can communicate to him. You do that. You say, "Hey, honey, I feel, upset, hurt, or whatever when you don't do this, then maybe, and I don't know, maybe that can help him, right? If it doesn't, then it can't help. But as the other fellas may have already said, and I kind of was doing some other things on my phone, some people will show you who they are, and you literally have to believe them, because no matter what you say, no matter how you say it, no matter if you say it in the right time or with the right touch, it doesn't even matter, because they may not ever do it. So you have to assess for yourself. If I say it and it helps, great. And it leads to change, right? It's like pulling the hamster off the wheel. Finally, the hamster's got off the wheel. But if I say it and it does nothing, or if I've continued to say things and it's always continued to do nothing, people will continue to repeat that cycle until they bump their head. I'm saying that for me because that was me. I continued to repeat cycles until I learned how to until I bumped my head and said, "Oh, I can't keep doing this. This is where I'm making mistakes." And I had somebody to help me. So that's my input. I hope that helps.
Thank you.
I see you getting teary-eyed over there.
Who? No.
She said,
I'm just messaging you when you was doing like this. I was messaging.
I don't cry.
You need to cry. Crying is good. I'm just playing with you.
We got to get you to therapy too.
Oh yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm with that. I got my
honestly,
therapy.
that was one of the things I was going to suggest. Is sometimes, it's not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily has to be a person's the partner's trauma for them to also join in on the therapy. I have heard, and Jerron knows better than I do, that it is often beneficial for the person who needs therapy to have somebody else going into therapy with them.
Mhm.
So, but yeah.
Any
Yes,
final comments, fellas?
I might have. I appreciate your input, Chris, and yeah, because it's. I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna run with it, and we're gonna see what happens.
Okay.
You're gonna run? What kind of you got on some track shoes? What kind of running you gonna do with it?
I'm a ask them when can we talk.
Yeah.
I ain't on the timeline.
I can sense you are I can sense you're an extremely assertive person, Crystal. So I just suggest, like, when you're dealing with people in mental health and they past traumas, you just have to be really delicate with it, because it can trigger, it can blow up. You know what I mean? So, and I respect. I see that's not what you want.
That's why I asked, because
Right.
I worked in mental health for 15 years, but I worked with children, and so it's kind of different when you're dealing with adults, but it's not. But then you have this other perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a person who sees, I see it all and I take in all of it. And like I said, I'm learning to eat the meat and spit out bones. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like it's a process. You know what I'm saying? Your relationship's a process, and choosing to be with somebody is a process. Choosing to decide on whether you're gonna, if you helping or you enabling, and figuring out, oh snap, I'm enabling. How do I stop the enabling? If you still choosing to want to be with the person, or hey, this ain't working. How am I gonna get out of this? That might be the next question. I'm just kidding.
Well, Crystal, I hope you and Evelyn, both you ladies got some amazing feedback. I appreciate you both for coming to the show. Crystal, did you get some great feedback from?
I definitely did. I appreciate all y'all.
Okay, would love for you to give us an update next week and just kind of tell us how things went, if you were able to address it. how things, I mean, I would love for you to come back, use the same link, and join our show next week, and just give us an update. We love to see. Our fans like to see a story. They like to hear the journey of the story. Right. If you look on TikTok, people love watching part 1, 2, 3, and 4. So Evelyn came back this week and she gave us a new dating story. Yeah, so Evelyn part 2. With that said, man, hopefully y'all have an amazing, amazing night. Shane, if you are in the background, send us home.
Good night, ladies.
Good night.
Evelyn, Crystal, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See if I can get him to send us home. Yep. We can't say we're going to help one and not help the other one. I'm just playing. Let's start a fight.
You're listening to Ask a Black Man Anything, where we hold the hands of other men and sing Kumbaya.
Wessel, you better not, Captain.
Listen, I'll hold the hand of all the women to the promised land, the land of
pander
and honey.
Pander.
Caping for a woman, caping for women is not the same as holding a man's hand. I gotta agree with Wes on this one.
I mean, that's fine.
Imagine caping for men.
Some men do just need an introduction to a new experience.
Captain.
To open the eyes to different
Captain. So you want to be Cap? You call me Captain Saver.
Don't call me nothing. You don't see me saving none of them.
You call me Captain Saver,
no,
whatever.
Do it,
but
you do it every week. Me doing it once
bro.
Is nothing. Wes, you do this every week.
Saver, bro.
Where you saving women? She's
I can't wait till the next one.
She's a whole woman, and she deserves to be treated, with the utmost respect. And she shouldn't have to be held accountable for her actions.
Remember what Chris said about his barber a while back?
You like, but yo, you like, he deserves to be treated with respect. He's the whole woman.
Yeah, Wesley, you wild today, bro. You wild today. I'm gonna let you have that one.
Oh man.
Wonder why Shannon Rawls didn't join us at all.
Can you still hear me, brother? My connection is terrible. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, sir. I should step out and go see what's going on in these ATL streets. I need to get Evelyn's information, man. She out in Sandy Springs. I want to see what's up with Sage. Go check that out.
So that $60, man, gonna have you hiding in the bathroom.
Bro, I could do a $60 day.
I'm bad at doing though.
Bro went to the bathroom to check his bank account. Man, what kind of punk ass shit is that, bro? Like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Like,
they want to be embarrassed.